This week, it's all about keeping everyone safe on the road, especially young drivers. Joining us live in studio is Captain Jeremy Burkett. What's this year's theme, Driven to Drive Right, all about?
So Driven to Drive Right goes back to putting focus and emphasis on making sure that our teen drivers, our young drivers, our inexperienced drivers understand the consequences of not making those safe decisions. So, and when we talk about those safe decisions, when that phone goes off, don't text back, having too many people, especially if you're 16 and you've got that graduated driver's license law, you've got those restrictions on your DL, not having too many people in the vehicle, obeying that speed limit, making sure you get that seatbelt on, making sure that they understand that these aren't just little pet peeve things that are to annoy you. They're things that you need to do to keep you and the people in your vehicle safe.
It's not necessarily true that teen drivers are bad drivers. They're just inexperienced on the roads.
Well, and that's what we talk about. It's really easy for us, right? We're adults. We've got a tremendous amount of time behind the wheel. We've got all that experience. Hey, there's things that can happen when we're behind the wheel, right? And we've got tons of experience, much less these unexperienced individuals that are out there, and sometimes they just don't know what to do. And so that's why it's so important for the parents to go out, have those conversations, don't assume that they understand, and just make sure that they are comfortable enough to be able to tell people no, because peer pressure is a real thing. We see it a lot. We've seen it to be the case in a lot of these tragic crashes that we've seen through the years, especially recently, where we've got a lot of young people in a vehicle, and because of that peer pressure, they make decisions and do things they wouldn't normally do.
Yeah, speeding, I imagine, is a big factor where kids can influence other ones to drive fast. They think it's fun, but it's so dangerous.
It is, and really we see it going back to the seat belts, because for us, we get those moments in time when we deal with these crashes. We talk to the families, and they will tell you, and other friends will tell you, that this individual normally buckles up. Well, they always wear their seat belt. Well, on this particular day, because of people in the vehicle, and again, that peer pressure, but maybe somebody's making fun of them or something like that, they don't put it on. And that's where we want to make sure those parents understand, have that conversation with the children, and make sure that they're clear that this is something they're doing to protect their life.
Parents not only need to have that conversation, but they also need to set the example for the kids. If we're staying off our phones, if we are driving the speed limit, if we are buckling up, they are more likely to follow those rules too.
Well, and I think we do have a lot of safe drivers. That's one of the things that we've got millions of licensed drivers in the state of Alabama that don't get tickets, they don't get warnings, they don't get stopped. So really, just talk to your children about what you do. I mean, I think a lot of times we've got some people that don't follow the law. All right, we do, we know that, and we try to handle that and address that, and we see that because we see all these fatal crashes, right? We see way too many lives are lost on Alabama roadways, but we've got some really good drivers. Share that message, share it with other drivers, but make sure you're sharing it with your children.
Are there resources that parents can use? Are there teen driving safety courses they can take?
Absolutely. You can go on our website, www.aaliyah.gov. We've got a link on our press release that we just sent out relative to this campaign, but there are more resources available now than ever before for individuals, and it even gives you tips on how to have a conversation with your children, and because you may be a safe driver, you just don't know how to explain it. So there's a multitude, and again, there's a lot of things that you can put on your child's smart device for you to know exactly where they are, exactly how fast they're going. There's all these things for you to track people now more than ever before.
If we see that children are not following those rules of the road, it can be inconvenient for us as parents to take their keys away. But do you advise making sure that they understand? We
see it now, and you do. We see a lot of, just because their children may not have displayed the maturity and the level to even go get that driver's license, maybe they've got a learner's permit, but they haven't shown that they're mature enough to go get that driver's license, then that's a choice that the parents need to make, right? Because at some point, if they don't have their driver's license and all they have is a learner's license, then that means they've got to be with their parent who's still monitoring those driving behaviors. So if they don't show the behavior and show the maturity, then they're maybe not in a situation to get that license yet.
Yeah, I had that discussion with a friend this week. She has a 16-year-old daughter who is very responsible, but she's not comfortable yet behind the
That's
wheel.
right.
She's nervous, and her mother's not pressuring her to go ahead and get that license. She's letting her take her time.
That's right. There's nothing, the law says that you can go get your learner's license, take the skills test, and you can have a Class D Alabama driver's license at age 16. It doesn't say that you have to. It just allows you that ability.
What are the main takeaways you want people to get from this campaign?
Really, especially when it comes to distracted driving. I mean, we can't talk about it enough. Cell phones, there's so much that goes on, how we interact, social media, how we receive things, smart devices, but you can't drive distracted. And it really goes back to, and everything we're going to talk about, because when you're talking to your teens, they're building that foundation for that driver behavior for the rest of their lives. So distracted driving, absolutely not. Slow down, follow the speed limit, and buckle that seatbelt.
And the speed limit is the limit. It doesn't mean you have to drive that fast.
That's exactly right.
If it's raining, you could
Well,
go slower.
especially there's times on the interstate where the speed limit is 70 miles an hour and you're in heavy traffic, and for you to even go 70 miles an hour, it means you're going to be following too close. So you can reduce your speed, and especially what you're talking about, you may be a young driver where you're just really not comfortable going that fast.
Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We'll come